Hi there, I'm Danny Flexen and this is the Knockout Boxing Betting Guide. We try and give you a steer towards the best value you can find in the boxing market this weekend. Now, two big shows happening this weekend, the first of which is on a Friday night, so don't get caught out, although it's more in the UK like the early hours of Saturday morning, when Anthony Crolla, humble working class hero from Manchester, goes up against one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world, Lomachenko, out in Los Angeles. There's no over-exaggerating the enormity of the task facing Crolla. And the thing is, he's earned the shot. He's a former WBA champion in his own right. His only defeats in recent years have come against the excellent Jorge Linares, who managed to give Lomachenko some problems last year before getting stopped. And he won a final eliminator to get the chance. But such is Lomachenko's prowess and his superiority against most other fighters in and around his weight class that Crolla is being discounted. The discussion really is centering around how long Crolla can last and how Lomachenko will look in victory, what's next for him, rather than can Crolla win. It's almost being discounted as a possibility. I'm not here to buck that trend, unfortunately. I've got a lot of time with Crolla. I've known him for a number of years and he'll go and he'll give everything. And I'm sure tactically he'll be spot on as well under a great trainer in Joe Gallagher. But in terms of overall skill set, ability, variety, Lomachenko was obviously an incredible amateur and a streak to world titles at 3 weights as a pro very early on in his pro career as well. No one's unbeatable, but he's close to it, and I don't think Crolla has the requisite skill set, power, just the combination of factors that would upset someone like Lomachenko. So there's not a lot of value to be found in the main event in LA, unfortunately. Because it's hard to know whether Crolla will last the distance or not, and even then the method of victory odds aren't going to be great for Lomachenko. However, on the undercard, we see Gilberto Ramirez, long-time WBO super middleweight champion, step up to light heavyweight for the first time to fight Tommy Carpensey. Now, Carpensey has been stopped in previous defeats, he's been found out at a certain level, and he's clearly been brought in to give Ramirez a exciting, dynamic debut at the higher weight. Thing is though, Ramirez, even at super middleweight, has gone the distance in 8 of his last 9 fights. Now maybe that's because he struggled to make weight. And if so, maybe we'll see a new powerful version of Ramirez, who's certainly talented, you know, tall, southpaw, very quick, very good on his feet. Maybe we'll see a more powerful version of him up at light heavy with that extra, 7 pounds. But if we don't, and we see the same version of Ramirez just a bit bulked up, then Carpensey's more than capable of lasting distance. I don't think he'll beat Ramirez. I don't think he has the skill set to do that, although he did upset Chad Dawson a few years ago. But he could last the distance. I think that's available around 15 to 8, so just under 2 to 1. So it might be worth a punt on that. The other big show this weekend sees what is arguably the biggest women's boxing match of all time between 2-time Olympic gold medalist Claressa Shields and long-time professional world champion Christina Hammer. Now, Hammer's only bringing 1 belt into the fight, I should say, and the naturally bigger Shields is bringing 3. So Shields is also a professional world champion. They've both won multiple world titles. We could talk about their resume all day. I think one of the key things in Hammer's favour is that she has competed in 3 times the number of professional bouts as Shields. Shields may have the greater skill set, but Hammer's certainly the more experienced and rounded professional. She's had 24 fights to Shields' 8. But she's also the older woman, significantly. And Shields is a relatively significant favourite going into the fight, but Hammer's certainly got a chance. And I think she's available at pretty good odds, so it might be worth checking it out. If you look at the tape of both fighters, see something you like in Hammer, might be worth going for that. But again, something that's attracted me is on the undercard as Caleb Truax, who a lot of you will remember from upsetting James DeGale and taking his super middleweight title, IBF super middleweight title not too long ago. Lost in a grueling rematch, close rematch with DeGale, but a good fighter, especially on his day. And his day may come on Saturday because it's in Minnesota, his home state. He'll be well motivated. And he's going up against Peter Quillen, who made his name as a belt holder at middleweight, but after losing his first fight to Danny Jacobs, getting blasted out in 85 seconds, he hasn't really been seen much since. He took, I think, nearly 2 years out after that, won his comeback fight, took another year out, won another fight. He hasn't been very active. The 2 comeback fights since Jacobs have both gone the distance. He's moved up to super middleweight. Probably doesn't carry quite the same pop as he did down at middle. So he's unlikely to get Carpensey, sorry, I'm getting confused with the other fight now. Get Caleb Truax out of there early. Truax is very dogged, as we saw against DeGale, durable, high work rate, and certainly with his home crowd behind him, won't stop trying. I have a feeling that he could, and I'm not saying this is definite, so don't bet your house on it, but he could out-hustle the favoured Quillen, and he's available to win by decision, because I don't think he'll stop Quillen. He's not a massive one-punch hitter, Truex. But if he does outwork him, he's available at around 15-4, so almost 4-1 for the hometown guy, a former world champion, to win a decision in his hometown. Just seems like a no-brainer to me that that's where the value is. Now, don't get me wrong, it wouldn't shock me if Quillen got him out of there in kind of the middle rounds and finally lived up to some of the hype around him. But, you know, what odds are you going to get on that? 15-4 are great odds for a feasible method of victory for Caleb Truex fighting at home. I'll be back with more analysis and predictions as part of Betmaster Ben's roundup on Friday. But until then, really appreciate your time. Give us your comments below. What do you think of the tips? What do you think of the fights at the weekend? Does Crolla have any chance? Does Hammer have a more significant chance as the underdog against Shields? And the undercard fights that I've tipped as well. Let us know your thoughts on that. And maybe the format as a whole. Maybe not so much on the setting and the border behind me on the wall. But if you must talk about that, hey, all engagement is good engagement, I think. And I'll be back next week, Wednesday, to see you for the next knockout boxing betting guide. It's not easy to say with a mouthful of jelly beans. See you guys next week. Thank you very much.